轻轻阳光 So sunny.
Hi everyone, welcome to our second episode of the So Sunny podcast. So with me here today we have,
I'm Roslyn.
I'm Yi Qian.
And I'm Xander.
and I'm Gerald. So today we're going to have a very interesting topic that we want to discuss with everyone. So the topic for today is actually on peer pressure. Yeah, so just want to ask you guys, what is maybe your perspective on peer pressure?
Now look at me. Okay, I'll start first. So I think that peer pressure is basically being like forced into a situation that you actually don't really want to do.
You basically just summarized it. Like what she said lah. I think you're forced to do something that you're not willing to do. Huh? Yeah, that's
Okay,
all.
my perspective of peer pressure is around the same. It's basically being like a pressure into doing something by your peers.
Okay, yeah, so for me I think quite similar to what you guys have. But for me I feel like, peer pressure can something that can have its benefits as well as its drawbacks lah. Yeah, so maybe like just kick off this whole conversation, right? Just want to ask everybody, do you guys have had any experiences with peer pressure, whether it be good or bad?
I wouldn't say it's like peer pressure. Is it kind of peer pressure? Okay, like for instance, like group work. I really hate doing editor role, but I'm kind of put like into that position where I had to take up the role. 我做到半死. I wanted to cry. Is that counted as peer pressure?
Were you peer pressure into the role? Do you feel like you were peer pressure into the role?
Do you
like,
feel that you were
okay.
forced into it?
I mean, they all took up the role, so I had to take up the role. Question mark.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not trying to like, you know.
Yeah, no, we get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but okay, I mean, it could possibly be a form of peer pressure. Yeah, anyone else got any kind of interesting stories that you guys want to share?
Sure. Yeah, for me, right, there's like different kinds of peer pressure, like the positive and the negative side one. So for me, right, my clique is like really smart. Like my clique in secondary school, like most of them ended up getting like, very good scores, like single digit scores for O level, and being like friends with them, right, is like a very hard thing to do. Cause I'm kind of expected to like be as smart as them. So instead of like going out to play and stuff like that, they will usually like study all day, and that kind of like pressured me into studying with them, which is a good thing, I guess. Cause if not for them, right, I wouldn't have like done well for my O levels, I guess. Yeah, so I think it's important to choose like the right people to be like associate yourself with. And for negative peer pressure, of course there are like sometimes like that. So actually I have a very similar experience to Ying Qian also. That's your name, right? Yeah. Because no one wanted to pick up the role, right? So they kind of expect like someone to fill up the role automatically. So there was this like one project where I wanted to be the vision mixer or like director, but not, all of them say I suited FM, and they automatically assigned it to me, even though I stated that I strongly do not want FM. So I felt a bit like bad about it. And since they gave me the role FM, right, they expected me to like do really well with it, in it. Yeah, so all of them were like expecting me to do well, and when I made a mistake, right, all of them gave me the frowns. Yeah, so like I don't know, I felt kind of bad. Yeah.
In that moment, right, do you think it's something that is quite like a common sign maybe in your class at the moment, like for people to sort of like push the role to other people lah? Like since you guys both mentioned it, right? Yeah, do you guys think it's something that's quite prevalent?
I feel like it's very prevalent, like, especially in poly, because we require a lot of teamwork and group projects. So you have to work very closely with a lot of people, and most of the time, right, I'm pretty sure you cannot get the role that you want to do, or it's like assigned something and you are kind of like forced into doing that even though you do not want to. Yeah, so you should try to like have a stand for yourself. Try to like make it clear that you want like ABC role instead of getting like pushed to this leftover role which no one wants to do. Yeah, but it's quite hard because as I've said, it's like peer pressure. So most of them will be like rejecting your idea and like shutting you down. So you really have to like stand for yourself.
Right.
How do you feel after everything is done? Like, do you feel that you should have like stood up for yourself, or like what kind of valuable so-called lessons that you?
Honestly, right, I'm just glad that the whole thing is over. So I guess like one of the coping mechanisms for like peer pressure is just like, just wishing that it'll be over fast, like just getting it done with. And I do not think that's very healthy, because we should not like feel like negative emotions in our daily life, but I guess it's life. Yeah.
And Rosaline, do you have any kind of interesting story that you want to share?
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Personally, I got peer pressure into drinking with one of my friends before I turned 18. Yeah.
Okay. Do you wanna maybe share a little
Yeah,
bit about what happened?
Sure. So I used to have this friend. So she was like not in a good mood, and she brought me to Sentosa. So we were at Sentosa, and she chose like a place to picnic, but it was outside of the toilet. Yeah, it was outside of the toilet, and she bought like a lot of alcohol, and she started drinking. So she was, I guess she was really down, and she needed someone to have fun with. But firstly, I was not of age, and secondly, like I'm not, I don't really like drinking. So when she was like high or like on tipsy, she will like fall and like, hey, come drink. Come drink, it's just once in a lifetime. Yeah. So she
Right.
just want to have fun. But I was glad that I made my points clear, and then I didn't really get peer pressured into it, but I was forced to kind of like deal with her.
Okay. Yeah, so talking about like drinking and stuff like that, right? Like these are all like sort of things that people do for like seeking thrills and stuff like that, right? I know alcohol is something that a lot of people do drink. I want to ask you guys, right? Do you think alcohol is something that people do feel peer pressured to try? Like
Or,
when you reach a
besides
certain age,
alcohol,
right?
like
Besides
any-
alcohol, like
anything, like
smoking, yeah, and stuff like that,
vaping.
lah. Anything that is gives you some excitement or high,
I mean, yeah, like smoking and drinking, all this kind of stuff. Like, I think people can get peer pressure into it, but you have to know, like, to stand for yourself, lah. Know when to say no, and like, don't just because like they are forcing you to do it, or you want to like mix in with the group and some sort, right? Then you just do it out of like your own will and something like that. Yeah, so I think it's knowing how to draw like your boundaries also. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a good point that she mentioned was, like in peer pressure, right? It's really about people trying to find a way to be part of the group that they are in as well. But I think it's also important that, all of us just try to take a stand as well. Like if you guys feel like something that you guys really don't want to do. For me personally, I feel like peer pressure was something that in secondary school, I think it was something that was good. I think one of the very strong examples that I actually saw was during the O-level period. I think because that time it was COVID, right? So it was quite difficult for people to study, so to say, because like we didn't get to go back to school, then it's very difficult to study, right? Then the school actually opened up like the school hall for students to go back and study. And the thing was, in my school we got different express streams as well. So what they did was, yes, the school has a list of students who they feel like need to come back for the extra lessons and stuff like that, right? So those students, they do have to come back to school, but to sort of like help them, to encourage them to study and stuff like that, right? They actually opened up like the school hall to other students as well. So what ended up happening was like there were a lot of other students from like the other streams as well, and also from the other classes who were academically maybe more stable, to come back and just study together with them. And I think like what happened was, because the whole hall was filled with students, right? They don't feel so bad to have to study there, because it's not just them inside the hall. There are other students studying there as well. And I think eventually it was quite good, because like students being students, right? Like boys' school, right? You got the brotherhood and the community and stuff like that. Right? What happened was like everybody just helping each other to study as well. Then I got any questions or what, you do have friends there who can help you study as well. So I think like for me, peer pressure, so far, I think my experience with peer pressure has been kind of a good one. Yeah, I'm not sure what you guys think about that. Yeah.
Your experience with peer pressure is a good one because of being able to study, having the motivation to study. And do you feel that like studying, if everyone is studying and it goes into a range of like competitive, like it becomes very competitive, like how do you deal with it, or like how would you cope with it?
Yeah, maybe you guys got any experience with competitiveness and stuff like that? I think quite similar to the story that Xander shared just now, right? About how in secondary
Yeah.
school. Yeah, so maybe we come from a perspective of poly students. Maybe poly students, right? How do you guys feel about it?
Competitive.
You don't feel the competitiveness.
I mean, like, you just do your work at your own pace. Like if you think it's good, then why do you need to feel pressured by what other people think, right? And then like if you think like what you're doing is enough, then like don't like I don't think like other people's comment will really matter, or like yeah. I mean like in a sense it's like they are trying to help you also, but I think it's more like how you manage this like criticism or comments or like competitiveness. Yeah. Does it answer your question? I mean, I don't really experience it lah, so I wouldn't know how it feels like.
I think this like competitiveness, right, is like what you like. You put it on yourself lah. Like if you want to join in the competition and be like the top scorers and things like that, then you'll be like pressured by them to do better or to like beat them. But if you're like honestly like me, I do not really give a I
cannot
I don't really care about my grades because I just want to like get through it, like get through poly. So I'm just like chilling. So I do not really feel the competition. But yeah, it's really how you like see it. So if you let it like get to you negatively, right, and like stress out for every single one of your work and assignment, right, you definitely like feel the pressure, feel bad about it, and feels like school is very tiring and stressful. But if you are just decided to like chill and just get your work done with, right, then you'll have like a smoother like poly life. Yeah.
Talking about like peer pressure, so competitiveness could lead to peer pressure. And since we are on the topic of academics, we actually have
like a short video that we want to show you guys, right? So I want to get everybody's kind of opinions on what this video is about lah. So basically, the CNA, right, they actually brought together students from different streams, and basically what the video is about is, you got students from different streams coming together to talk about what they feel about the other streams as well lah. And different students actually got very different perspectives of each other. So I thought maybe we can just start with this video, then we see, maybe we can discuss a little bit more.
Yeah, your personal experience and how do you view this situation?
I've invited students aged 15 to 17 from different schools and different educational tracks to come together for an honest...
Yeah, so that's about it, the segment of the video that I want to show you guys. So does that conversation make you guys feel uncomfortable?
Do you have any thoughts of it in like generally, like what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, if I'm in that situation, because I come from like any stream, right? And then if I'm placed in that situation, I feel like, what the heck, why they like so cocky, right? Like this type of people, like what the IP student said, like if you have
short hair.
Yeah, it's like if you're placed in the same class and stuff, right? Instead of like closing the gap, you like just increase the gap of like I don't know what lah. But yeah, I mean I'll feel so like, why are you looking down on me? Like it's just like, oh, you are academically better than me, but maybe like in other areas, I'm like better than you.
Yeah. So okay, I think one of the things that I noticed like through the video when I watched it was, they use a lot of terms like, higher express streams, lower express streams and stuff like that. So do you think that is the case with secondary school nowadays? Like do students really have that kind of like feeling or, thoughts about the other streams? Do you really think of it as?
Okay, personally, right, since I come from the express stream, I do feel like there is this like gap here, but I guess it cannot be helped because I'm quite open as a person, right? And I do want to like make friends from like people like from all the other streams, but honestly we do not really get the chance to. And since I come from a YP school, like neighborhood school, which isn't like very prestigious or things like that, right? The like NA and NT, right, the classes can get like really rowdy and really like bad. So they usually get into trouble like every day, like the principal will be like disciplining them about something. So to avoid trouble, like most people from Express would like want to avoid them, but I do understand like most of us like, so okay, not most of us, like there is like people that look down on them, and I guess that's wrong on our part, but on their part they could also like do better, as they also admitted like one of the person in the video admitted that they create chaos every day. So we do not want to like get ourselves into trouble, so associating with ourselves with them can get us into trouble. That's why there's like this like unwillingness to like want to like talk to them.
Then can I ask you maybe just your opinion So let's see, back I remember like I think 2 or 3 years ago, right, like right before COVID started, there was actually a plan by the government, right, to sort of have like combined classes from students from all the different express streams together in one class, because they said that having students from all the different express streams together can sort of give everybody like a whole new kind of dynamic in the classroom, right? So you got students from all different kinds of backgrounds. So it's supposedly what the government was hoping for was that it will actually help like push the class further lah. So what's your thought on maybe having a class like that in secondary school?
I think there's like this like even newer government scheme where they remove like the streams completely, so everyone will be placed just randomly like in every single class. So I think removing all the streams and things like that, right, would remove some like negative like stigma about streams and things like that, because there'll be like no such thing as streams, so everyone is just from different classes and no one know like the background of like everyone, so they start like new and fresh with each other in their new schools. So that will be like a good factor to help everyone interact with each other. And I think that if everyone take this like chance to like start fresh with each other and not like have this like bad mindset about like him being like dumb because he's like from NA and NT, or like he's like better than me because he's in Express, this will definitely help like the dynamics of the class. So yeah, if things go well, then I'm pretty sure that the situation in the classroom will get better.
Actually, right, like let's not put into like the labeling. Even if labels of like different streams don't exist, do you feel that the hierarchy still exists? It's like how it's very evident like in the video that they compare when like talking to each other before they even reveal their streams, like the way they talk, the expectations they have on themselves, that is actually kind of like obvious which streams are they from. Does this actually gives like a hierarchy, or like it has a gap between them?
I mean, definitely there will be like this gap, because like from the way they talk, you can really tell that they are like from very like different backgrounds. But I'm pretty sure that given a chance to interact, right, they would like get to understand each other more before they start to judge each other. And since the people like which doesn't speak that fluent, right, will be interacting more with the people that are more fluent, right, I'm pretty sure that they can improve their language also, and can use that as a like form of positive like peer pressure to like get them to be a better version of themselves, because there's like people within like their classroom that is guiding them to be like more fluent, more better in their studies and do the right things and not create chaos.
I think one thing that I feel has to be said is that personally for me, right, I feel like secondary school is a place where unfortunately there will be like you will be able to tell differences between students, because secondary school you're kind of forced to study things that the government wants you to study, right? Like chemistry, physics, all that kind of stuff, right? No matter which like stream you're in, you still have to study all these kinds of topics. And I think maybe not all the topics are for everyone. So coming to poly, right, I just draw it back to poly context, right? Coming back to poly is a place where you get to really maybe have more choice in choosing what you want to study or what specialization you guys want to study. And poly is a place where, you have students from all the different streams coming together. So it's effectively what the government is trying to do with secondary school. So I want to hear from you guys also. In poly, right, maybe talking about first day of school, or maybe when you guys first come to the course, right, not knowing all the people and not knowing what streams they are from, right, what's your perspective of all the different people in your classes, and how has it changed like through these 2 or 3 years? Yeah.
Actually, right, what's the first question when you meet like someone in your class? Do you ask like, oh, do you come in through EAE or JE, or just
does that matter to
random
you guys,
question?
or?
Yeah.
No, I would just ask them like, oh, like what do you do like before this and stuff like that. But I wouldn't ask like, okay, I mean I'm from any stream, so I wouldn't know about like, all the express, I don't know terms and stuff, right? So I wouldn't bother asking, oh, do you come from like EAE or like what is it, DAE or JAE? Yeah, or something like that lah. And I think like if this is the first thing you ask about a person, don't you think it's a bit rude? Okay, I mean for me I'll find it rude lah.
Yeah.
Like, does my answer, like if I say I come from like NA, will you like distance yourself from me because I might not be like academically smarter than you, or like in any way that I can like help you during like these 3 years in poly, right? Yeah, that's like how I feel lah. I don't think it's right to ask.
For my class, we are more like competitive. Not me, but my class is quite competitive. So the first thing they ask, right, is usually like, which school are you from and how much you get for your O-levels? Yeah, which I think is quite bad, because everyone is just comparing like each other like on the first day of school already. And even like till now, right, like year 2 already, they still like make fun of people which like failed their English or like other subjects, even though I know it's in a joking manner, but yeah, they still joke about it.
How do you feel, like personally, when people ask you, like, how do you feel? Are you like comfortable to like say out? Like,
As I mentioned before, I did like not that bad for my O-level, so when they ask me, I'm quite comfortable sharing, but I do see people that are like unwilling to talk about it, so they will give like very vague answers like I did okay or like enough to get into CMC, good enough already, and things like that. Yeah.
But do you guys think it matters though? Like from being from the different streams, right, and coming into CMC, do you guys see a difference, or is there, you know, things that you guys notice or anything?
Personally, I do not think there's a difference because everyone is learning the same things for the next 3 years. So it's really like based on how you perform to like get your own grades. But I do see people, right, like specifically this one girl, which is like very like, how to say, what's a nicer word for?
What is it supposed to be?
better think carefully before you say.
She's more like opinionated lah. So she only wants a group with like people that does well. And because like she specifically know that I'm not very good in Chinese, right? She will like ostracize me or like basically look down on me in every single project, which makes me like very, very annoyed. Cause every time I try to talk, right, she'll be like, I cannot. Like I'm just quoting from her, okay? You shut up, like you don't even know anything. You can't even speak the language. You want to do what, yeah? Let me do it, okay? Just listen. Just do whatever I tell you to do. So like I feel very like annoyed at it because I know that I have my own strengths and weaknesses too. It's just because I might not be good in the language, right? But I do have like other like technical skills or things like that which can be like beneficial to a group. But because of that, right, she completely dismissed me. So I feel like it's very, very annoying. Yeah.
do you feel hurt? Or like,
of course, like there are many times which I want to slap her, but I held myself together because I'm not this kind of person. But I feel like she shouldn't have like done this because yeah, it does hurt people, but I do not really care much about it. But there are people in the class that is like affected by how she acts towards them. Yeah.
you actually mentioned that like she only choose or she would like or prefer those that are like better, and being like group mates or like project mates, usually we will choose our friends like to work with because like you know them better. And does this kind of like ability or like academic affects the way you like make friends? Is friendship built on like academics or like knowledge?
I think that it does matter quite a bit, not gonna lie, because personally I'm more towards like the English side, so I do not really get like the references and like things like their daily topics that they talk about. Yeah, they would tend to talk about like things that are happening in China or like all those concerts and idols which I have no idea what they're talking about. So it makes it like really, really hard for me to interact with them. But they still interact with me. Like I have like a clique which is like quite big, which is like 9 whole people, but I do not feel very like included in them with them. But it doesn't change the fact that we are still friends. So even though it does matter to some extent, right, it does not fully define the friends that you can make. Yeah, through like all this academic difference or just yeah.
So I think like through all this, we kind of see that in secondary school with all the namings and titles for the different streams, and compared to in poly, right, where you know everybody is just starting off from the same place, right, we don't really see so much of the peer pressure or the kind of stress you get from studying with people from other streams. Do you guys think that you know, is it possible that maybe peer pressure is something that is just based on your own perspective?
I think for me it's based like, I think it's how do you like how you want to receive that like comment or like whatever they are saying to you lah. I just feel like it's like your perspective towards like what they say or how they act around you lah.
Yeah, I think it's really just a perspective because to me, right, like even if you graduate with a 1.0 or 4.0, right, you still graduate with the same diploma. I'm pretty sure your workplace will not ask you for like, oh, did you graduate? Like, what's your GPA when you graduate? They would not. So it's up to you lah to see like to see if you want to join a competition or just chill through your poly life, because in the end you are really just getting the same like diploma, same things so you can, if you're not that strong in academics, right, you can like try to like take up other things like volunteering or other CCAs or skills that you can pick up so you can boost your portfolio. But if you're good at academics, then you do you, okay, you just study hard and get like a good GPA, then you can like do whatever you want in life later on. But no matter what path you choose, right, there's definitely like a way to get what you want. So it's really just a matter of perspective to see if it could be good or bad.
Another question. So you say that those that are like not academically strong, they'll like try to take up CCAs, events, outreach to boost their portfolio. Does this also becomes like a certain peer pressure? Like people are pressured to boost their portfolio because they know that like their GPA cannot make it.
I do not think that that's the like real issue. Like it's really up to them, because you can really do nothing about it at all if you do not like plan to continue your studies or things like that. You can just like get your diploma and be done with. So it's really like up to the person's like own like discipline or like values, morals, whatever, if they want to like have a good portfolio lah. Because personally I have a lot of CCAs and I feel like it's like more enriching to like join all these kind of CCAs cause I can make like more friends or like just gain more experience from it lah. But I have friends that completely have like no CCA even though they're not doing very well in their academics. So it's really up to us. I don't really think there's a pressure, but if they would like pressure themselves, like if they think that I have a bad GPA, I cannot get into uni, and they do not want to do anything about it, they will like feel stressed or like pressured every day, but there's nothing they can do because they do not really want to act on it. So it's what they do lah. Yeah, it's really what they do, what they want to do with their life for themselves.
Yeah, so I know that you are from a CCA in Ngee-Ann, right? So peer helpers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you maybe just share a little bit more about what peer helpers they do for the students in the school, and is there anything that you guys discuss that is, you know, maybe on the topic of peer pressure, or maybe ways that students can cope with peer pressure?
So for us, right, we do like a lot of events to like outreach to people, and we focus like quite a lot on mental health. So we have like talks and sharings about mental health, and we usually like plan hangouts and events so that people can come down and unwind with each other. And recently we have a few events such as like Human Library, where people get to like share their own experience to others. So if they can relate, right, then they have like something to talk about or like somewhere to vent. And there's this like study circle where we get like anyone who is interested to sign up and come down to study together lah, to have like a chill session and just study and talk together, so you do not feel like lonely when you're studying, or like having people around you to study can like boost your motivation to pick up like, you know, studying, like be more on task. Yeah,
so are there any like ways or tips that, you know, as you guys all come together for the CCA, right, do you got any ways or tips that you guys feel like students can help cope with peer pressure?
I don't think I'm the best at giving tips, but really just like mingle with the right people. Like if you do not think that they are like the people you want to hang out with, just try to like distance yourself from them. Just choose the right people, then you'll have like a very more like better experience in life. Because good friends will not like pressure you into doing like things that you do not want to do. So having like the right group around you really like helps with your quality of life.
Look at me. Okay, let's ask Gerald a question since it's a bit awkward. So why are you not wearing a mask today?
Oh, I mean, cause COVID over already, right? So don't you wear lah? I mean,
okay, it's okay it's in Singapore, but do you know that if you're in Japan, not wearing a mask, it means that you're not wearing your underwear. It's equivalent to not wearing your underwear.
do you guys know about that?
No?
So let me tell you more. So a term, I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly, it's called kaopatsu, which literally means face underwear. So it's an expression that suggests that like wearing mask is like wearing underwear. So you cannot actually take out your mask like decently, as like exposing one face is like not wearing your underwear. Yes, and this is also because like even if a lot of people they wanted to take it out, but they're actually very scared like and reluctant to take it out. They'll be thinking like what will others think of them? And especially when they wear it for like 3 years, for almost every single day, they are more hesitant to take off their mask. And this is actually a real life like version of peer pressure, but a funny one.
Yeah, it's like, I can't really imagine though. Like imagine like your whole society is revolved around this whole, the peer pressure is everywhere for you to wear a mask, because people think that if you don't wear a mask, it's like very obscene or something like that. But actually, like the government has really made it like optional to wear the mask, but because of this whole mindset that the people have over there in Japan, right? Actually, most people still do wear their mask. So I'm wondering, like in Singapore, right? Do you guys feel that kind of pressure as well? when COVID first started to wear a mask, and maybe now when COVID is over, right? What is the pressure like to not wear a mask?
Wait, what? Wait, like during COVID?
I think maybe
After
yeah,
when
so
it
not
just
after COVID. Yeah.
reduce the
Now there's optional to wear
restriction.
mask here in
Yeah.
Singapore as well, right?
I mean, I don't like to wear masks, so I don't feel.
Well, then maybe you can ask you like when COVID first started, right? When they made it compulsory to wear mask, then
And then I have to wear lah. Then it's different
before
what.
it was
Before-
compulsory when
yeah,
everyone
optional,
started
right?
wearing
Optional,
a
right?
mask.
Do you feel stressed, pressured?
Yeah, to wear mask.
I don't really remember because like my mom asked me to wear, then I just wear.
Oh,
So like, wait, but the Japan thing is like kind of weird because I just went to Japan and I didn't wear a mask, like walking around. So like,
so people think you're not wearing underwear. It seems like it.
okay,
Not
sure.
this one.
But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Got any thoughts on that?
I also do not really like to wear a mask. So I ever since like it's not compulsory, right? I haven't been wearing a mask, but like whenever I leave my house, right, my parents will still like scream at me to wear a mask lah. But maybe I would just like put it on for like the few seconds that I'm outside the door, but after that I'll just remove it lah. So I guess that's like pressure in a way, in a sense. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
How about you?
Me,
Don't
I
wear.
actually feel like there is some form of pressure when COVID first started lah, cause like everyone was quite frantic and scared, right? And then especially that year, like we're taking O level, so when you go school, then you see like your teachers and your classmates all wearing, then you also feel like, hey shit, maybe you should take it more seriously, you know? Then like yeah lah, I guess in that sense it's also like pressure to wear also lah. Yeah.
So you were like pressured to wear your mask.
I think at the beginning, yeah. Because I didn't really take COVID very seriously.
Actually, for COVID, right? Like, are you pressured to even like take the vaccine? Because there was a point that if you cannot take the vaccine, like you're not allowed to go into the shopping centers.
I think there was a whole news article about a group of Singaporeans who didn't want to take the vaccine, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in the
that's
end, like,
why.
did they still take the vaccine?
I'm pretty sure
So,
they
like,
took it. Yeah,
How you get into the mall and stuff like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
eventually you still have
like
to,
you imagine if you're like the only person
Yeah.
that you didn't take your vaccination and all your friends want to go in the mall, but y'all cannot go in the mall. Y'all probably can only like go somewhere else, and then they're like, it's all your fault. You should go take the vaccine. You should like, not be a burden.
the government is playing on peer pressure, right? Purposely make you like feel bad for not being able to follow your friends out.
Yeah, then you will go and take the vaccine. Okay, I think we need to wrap up soon. So to summarize everything, we actually have one trigger question. We talk a lot of like how peer pressure is like perspective, or is it actually decision making? Like, is it when you decide you want to be peer pressured, or is it just perspective? So yeah, can share with us.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming on to our podcast. So second episode only. So yeah, very exciting, Yeah, but I think that sort of sums up our entire episode for today. So yeah, if you guys got any kind of questions, then you guys can send in on our social media team. Yeah. So follow us
@SoSunny.
at so.sunny.
So.sunny
So.sunny underscore. Yeah.
Yes, please tag us.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
心灵鸡汤，让你心情阳光。